there was a light upon the old man's face, as if reflected from some inner sunshine. Inner sunshine in his heart. Heidi looked at him and said, "Grandfather, you look so nice today. I never saw you fight like this before. Do you think so?" He answered with a smile. "Well, yes, Heidi. I am happier today than I thought possible. I am so glad you have come. So glad to have you back home." The doctor arrived. Before long, a letter came from Clara. She wrote that the house had been dull since Heidi left, and she had persuaded her father to let her visit Heidi in the autumn. Grandmama would come too, and they both were looking forward to the visit. Grandmama hoped that she could also meet Peter's grandmother. While she was there, the letter left Heidi very excited for the time when she would see her friends. The days and weeks passed slowly until finally it was September. One morning Heidi looked down the mountain slope and saw a figure climbing the path. "Grandfather, it is the doctor coming from Frankfurt." Heidi rushed down to greet him. When she came to him, she took his outstretched arm and exclaimed, "Good morning, doctor, and thank you ever so many times." "Dear Heidi, I have got to thank you." "What have you got to thank me for?" asked the doctor, smiling. "For sending me home with grandfather again," Heidi explained. She looked now for Clara and grandmama, but did not see them. "Where are the others?" she asked. The doctor explained that Clara had been ill and could not travel. The plans had changed. She would come instead in spring. Heidi was disappointed, but then she brightened and thought of showing the doctor the mountain and all the things she had loved. When his bags arrived, the doctor gave Heidi a hug Heidi a hug package from Clara. It had cake and a shawl for grandmother, a sausage for Peter, and all sorts of surprises. For Heidi and her grandfather. Dr. Klassen stayed for almost a month. Sometimes he took long walks with grandfather. Other times he went to the pasture with Heidi, where she told him about the goats and the mountains, and how wonderful it was to be able to read to Peter's grandmother now. She recited verses to the doctor and sang, and it made him very glad. It is good to be up here, good for body and soul, he said. Then it was time for Dr. Klassen to go back to Frankfurt. He did not leave without promising that Clara would come in spring. I wish I could take you back with me, he said to Heidi. Heidi thought that Frankfurt is rows of houses, its hard streets, and Fräulein Rottenmeier. She answered quietly, I would rather that you came back to us. When winter came, grandfather, Heidi, and the goats moved to an old house in Dorset. It had been run down until grandfather fixed it and made it nice for them to live in. He put Heidi's bed near the big white stove so she could be warm while she slept. There was even a stall inside the house for Little Swan and Little Bear. Every morning and afternoon Heidi went to school. She wished that Peter would come too, but he was often absent. He used the deep snow on the mountain as an excuse not to come. One day, when he stopped to visit Heidi and her grandfather, Heidi asked, Why weren't you in school today? Oh, Peter said, Certainly. Oh, Peter said, certainly. It was the sled's fault. It went so fast that it carried me right on past the school. Grandfather knew that he was lying. Next time you let your sled carry you past the school when you ought to be inside your lesson, come see me afterwards and receive what you deserve. Peter understood what grandfather meant.